Assalamu alaikum. Protect the intellect. Gotta protect your mind, y'all. We at war. We are at war. We are at war. Protect the intellect. Ahmada. Assalamu alaikum. What up, brother? We gonna get some game today, y'all. We gonna get some game today, bro. Protecting the intellect. Brother Bob, peace to you, brother. What you got going on? What you working? How's the family, bro? Protect the intellect, society. Like this breakdown of protecting the intellect. Anytime I break something down, I always go into a cipher, right? And what this cipher does is help me break down and reveal truth slowly. Muqtar, assalamu alaikum. It helped me come to an end of the understanding of the conceptual thought that I'm putting out there. Right? And the cipher mechanism is used with etymology. What I love about etymology is that there's more than one branch, but it's all connected to one root. And it gives you a broader concept, a broader perspective on one thing. Each word that we speak and have and understand are concepts. The more that you understand of that word, the more you can apply it, the better you can apply it. And the better you become a disciple at it. Because to be a disciple is to be a disciple is to learn, is to learn the disciplines, to learn the teachings, to learn the aspect and embody those things. So these words that we speak of, that we speak about, and that we use on a day-to-day basis, we must have the ability to not just speak it, but to live by it. And in order to live by these concepts, you have to become a disciple. You have to be a person who is willing to learn, to eat from the things that he learned or she learned about, and to embody and practice those principles. What's up, Auntie Nay? How you doing? Kevin? So right now we're going to talk about protecting the intellect. So this is a concept that I've been working on these past couple of months. And it's really inspired by RZA, by Wu-Tang, because they say this thing like protect your neck, right? They're influenced by karate and hip-hop and righteousness. So I want to bring that type of spirit into this lane too. I want to make intelligence cool again. Like we've been tricked into making anything that puts down us, put down our human mind, putting down our morale, we make that look cool. And now we're in a new era, right? That's the whole purpose of New World anyway. We're in a new era. We're in a new time with concepts and structures and blueprints that we develop so that we can produce a new mind, so that we know for sure that putting down the human spirit is wrong. We no longer put value in putting down the human spirit. We put value on intellect and the heart and loving and caring to one another. And if you're not working towards that, you're going to be left behind. And we want to I want to make sure that you do feel left behind in a sense of you not operating in your full self. See, I'm not a manipulative person where I want you to miss out on me. I want you to miss out on the best version of yourself. I actually don't want you to miss out, but I want you to feel like you're missing that out so you can go reach that. Go reach out the best version of yourself. That's how you're going to live the life intended for you, right? To be successful has nothing to do with what you want. To be successful is to live the life God intended for you. right? Allah says in the Quran that you are built or made like plant life. Let's think about this. An orange seed and apple seed, right? The reason orange seeds produce orange seeds and apples produce apple trees is because there are DNA structured imprinted within those seeds. Correct? You're made the same exact way. You have a DNA structured blueprint inside of you that if you were to build on that, you would then produce fruit from it. And when you produce fruit from that blueprint, what starts to happen is that you benefit yourself, but you also benefit the people around you, the environment around you, your society. So then that thing that you produce, it becomes edible to the next person. You can provide for your community. You can sell it. You can build economy life. You can build businesses like that. Or you can recreate the abundance process of replanting that seed that you've already produced and start all over. And in order to do that is to know God and to know what he has imprinted on you. And when you know that, you can produce that. This is our purpose. When you know that, you can produce that. Right now, we are at war. We are at war with our minds. That's why I protect the intellect society. And in protect the intellect society, we will build our minds. And from that, we will be able to build society. Think about the word protect. Let's go into the cipher. First of all, when you hear the word pro, it's a pro. It's a benefit. Right? And when you're protecting tech, it's like a defense mechanism. Right? So what are you protecting yourself from? Well, you're protecting yourself from the forces, the invisible forces, or even visible forces that damage your mind. And there's many things that damage your mind. Like right now, we live in a time where we're nutrient deficient. So that's why people are not able to produce their best thoughts or tap into their best self because their mind is deficient. We have a lot of ADHD brains. I deal with that sometimes. So I have to make sure I do X, Y, and Z to make sure my brain is functioning at optimal performance. Then on top of that, you have to learn how to get into flow state. We're not in flow state because we're constantly switching tasks. When you're constantly switching tasks, what starts to happen is your brain, your cerebral cortex starts to take an impact. It starts to use more energy on little things because now it takes energy to go to remember the task that you were working on. So there's no such thing of multitasking. What we need to get back into in its true essence is monotasking. To monotask is to tell yourself, I'm going to work on this, and take yourself through that process and get through that process, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. So if you're having trouble focusing, what you need to do is choose the focus. And when you start to choose the focus, you sit in that state for X amount of minutes. And when you do that, you build discipline, you build focus, and you build a flow. See, when you're operating on flow state, you're operating at your highest potential. When you're operating on flow state, there's nothing that can stop you. All you're doing now is entering into one place, exiting out another. There's no blockages. Right now we're dealing with a lot of blockages, and we have to eliminate these blockages so that we can get through these doors. In order to do that, you have to protect your intellect. You have to protect the intellect. How do you protect the intellect? Again, you have to provide yourself nutrients and habits. What nutrients are beneficial? Well, let's talk about it. Lion's mane, the shaga, the reishi, the mushrooms. We have to get into business in a way that helps the human soul flourish. If we do not, we're not truly getting into business in the way it was meant to be. We're meant to be in business to provide the needs and services of others, not always be capitalists. We cannot always come in with a capitalist mentality. If you do that, you start to take advantage of people. And that is not the way we should be living, to take advantage of people. What you need to do is provide for people, be beneficial to people. So in order to do that, you must serve people with products that help them. Serve people products that help them. So do your research on those nutrients, the lion's mane, the chaga, the reishi, the mushrooms. All these are mushrooms, matter of fact. And when you start taking these supplements, you start to give your brain the proper nutrients it needs to function in this world. You need to give yourself the nutrients. Please hit the gym. Do something difficult. When you start to do something difficult with your life, what you start to do is build a callus for your mind to be able to go through life the way it is meant to be going through. You're able to go through that fire. You need to have the ability to go through fire. Any male that does not have the ability to go through fire, you're not really receiving your rites of passage. See, rites of passage allows you to know that you're ready for the next step, but you have to deal with what you're doing, what you're going through right now. All right, but the stage that we're at right now is we need to learn how to protect our mind, protect the intellect. What is the intellect? Well, let's go deeper into this. Let's go deeper. So there's something I call the intuitive breakdown. And the intuitive breakdown, what it does is it takes a word and there's other words inside of this word and you can pull more meanings and definitions from these words. So it builds your concept on the word intellect. So let's start. Let's get an example. So the word intellect, you hear the word in, you hear the word tell, you hear the word act, you hear the word telly. So what does the word intellect mean from those breakdowns? Where you hear in, which is inside, which is internal. You hear the word tell, so that means you're forming a story. You also hear the word telly. Well, a telly is an antenna. What does an antenna do? Well, an antenna sticks out and it receives information that is within this environment. And it's telling a story within that environment. The environment is telling you a story. Your internal state is telling you a story. And what it does is ECT, is act, which is the act of bringing together. So it brings in that external and that internal information. And what it does, it elects or select the best information. And the information that it selects or elects, it uses that information to produce the reality that you're currently living. So the reason the life you're living is at its state and condition now is because the stories internally and the stories externally that you have formed or your mind has formed has caused it to do so. And the best information that you picked out from those allows you to produce that life that you're currently living. So if you want to change your story per se, you have to change your internal state and you have to change your environment. And when you do that, you then can pick and choose the best ideas to produce for society. And this is within your nature anyway. When we go car shopping, we go shop for the best cars. When we go buy for some clothes, we buy the best clothes. When we buy shoes, we buy this is within your nature. This is within your nature. And the intellect, again, this information that you use it to progress society. That's why you see people in very painful environments, but they come out with the best ideas to move society forward. They come out with the best ideas to move society forward. What ideas are you producing? What in your external environment and your internal environment is giving you meaning to produce something to be a benefit to the next person? What is it? You have to figure that out. And when you start to figure those things out, when you start to work within that process, you start to work within your purpose. You start to work within your purpose. So the intellect, so man is mind, your mind is your intellect, and your intellect is responsible for progressing society. So your whole purpose as a human is to progress society. And if you're not progressing society, you're not living in your true human function. You're just not. That's why we have to protect the intellect. Because when we start to protect the intellect, we start to preserve where we're going. We start to preserve and cultivate a culture that allows us to produce the best society. See, this is the type of information we really need to learn how to tap into. But we're brain deficient. People can't even stay on here for 5 to 10 minutes to get this information because we have a lack of focus. We have to protect. Look, this whole infrastructure of America or just this society right now is built to take away your focus. So you have to protect yourself from that. You have to protect yourself from these forces that are doing that. This whole infrastructure is built to take away your focus. But what system have you built to counter that system so that you can stay focused? What have you built to counter their system so that you can stay focused and so that you can not just help yourself, but your friends and your family? Allah says, save yourself from the hellfire, then your friends and family. So that's why we need to learn how to build infrastructures that provide mental stability for the human. Healthy living for the human. That's why research is impeccable. Psychology is impeccable. We have to learn how to delve deep into business in a way that helps the human society. Because if we do not, we are not truly progressing our ways. So protect the intellect. And the society part comes from when we do research on history, right? And these civilizations that produced the best type of humans, that produced the best type of ideas, they had a healthy intellect. For sure, all the time. This is my gift. It's my gift. I'm forever gonna live by it, you know? How you doing though? How you living? It's so important though, yo. We need to learn how to delve in technology that allows us to keep focus. If we're tapping into technology to take away our focus, we're then taking away our purpose. And if your purpose is being taken away from you, you allow the devil to win. You can't allow the devil to win. You should be mad at yourself. How I'm healing. How you healing? I ain't healing no more. I'm out of my healing journey. That's what that's the perspective I've been taking. I'm out of my healing journey. I'm growing now. So anything that's in the past, I'm killing it. I'm killing it. There was a time for my healing journey and everything, but I'm no longer in that phase no more. We growing. Anything that ain't with me, we cutting it off. It's dead. We're just gonna keep growing. We elevating. Right? So protect the intellect society. It's crucial. When we look at the Malian Empire, the Timbuktus and the Usmanian Fodios, these people were grounded in education and knowledge. These societies, we need to start building libraries. It needs to be cool to be smart now. If you ain't smart, we gotta fix that. That's mental illness. Including your hair that you were supposed to get. Yeah, I forgot about it, you know. My hair healthy though, you know. I might wait a little bit. think I still owe you money too. I owe you a little tip that I didn't give you last time. I do. Unless you got Zelle. You got Zelle? If you got Zelle, let me know. So this my mission right here. Right? And also, if y'all not following New World, go follow New World. New World Television Network, right? It's a new era. It's a new era. It's a new time. We build a new type of concepts. We have new thinking patterns. We have new structures, right? We have new blueprints. Yeah, Cash App is bad for me. We have new infrastructure. We have to build a new type of world, a new type of society. And if we don't, we're going to be left behind. We got to be leaders. We got to be able to be Adam. And Adam was a builder. He built civilizations. And in order to do that, he had to work. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. God tells us that we are vicegerent. To be a vicegerent means to manage your environment. Somebody that manages their environment. Look, when you manage your damn environment, I'm going to put it in terms that is understandable to us human beings. Those are my goals. Goals over there, goals here, goals over there. To manage your environment as a human is to nourish your soul, or what they say nowadays, to build your aura. How do you build your aura? Okay, let's talk about it. Prayer. Prayer is the basic step. To pray means to affirm something internally. And it gets to a point when you keep praying, you believe it. Prayer is, your belief system is connected to your heart and your mind. So meaning that the things that you think are connected to an emotion. This emotion builds. So when you, whatever you're praying for internally, it builds until it becomes your bubble. When it becomes your bubble, you start to live within that. That bubble is your environment. You understand me? That bubble becomes your environment. Before you plant seeds, you have to make sure your environment is cool. Who are you hanging with? What is your environment like? Is it toxic? If it is, that's when you got to start working. You got to be in the role of Adam. You got to start working. If not, you're not going to be able to, in Islam, we call it zulimati. You're going to be in darkness. See, the thing about darkness is part of growth. The thing is, you're only supposed to be in the dark for a specific amount of time. Right? Let's say if a mother has a baby, the baby's supposed to be there for 9 months. Anytime longer than that, it's going to hurt the mother. If a seed, when you plant a seed, it starts in the dark. If the seed does not start sprouting the time it needs to sprout, that seed's growth starts to stunt. Therefore, in order for you to grow, the human, you need to make sure your environment is healthy. If your environment is not healthy, you are oppressing yourself. Because you're not going to grow in the full potential God made you and how he designed you to be in. This is prayer. This is your environment. You have to nourish this environment. And the thing is, you have to know this. You know why? Because your op know this. Who's your op? The devil. The devil ain't somebody that got a horn, though. Let's get that out there. He knows this about the human. He knows that we can cling on to any type of idea, and if we cling on it, we can believe it. Right? She said, and emotions are created from experiences. I'm working on changing my perspective on my negative experience to create my future. So there's this book right now, right? It's called Change the Way You Think by Amy Sharp. Go get it. Don't say you're going to do anything. Go be active. Go get that book. Because that book helped me change my emotions. It's about attitude. See, having a positive attitude is the best thing to do. But to also put work behind that attitude is even better. Because you can't have a fake positive attitude when you're fake happy. No, not everything is goo goo gaga. Not everything is goo goo gaga. Things is real. Life is real. right? Protect the intellect. Protect your mind. Because when you lose your mind, you lose yourself. See, what does it mean to be human? Well, the word human, right? Let's break that down. The word man comes from the word humus, which means earth. You're made from earth. Scripture confirms this. Matter of fact, scripture tells you this. It don't confirm it. Scripture tells you this. You're made from earth. Science even says that you're made from the same materials of earth, same components. You're made from calcium, phosphate, hydrogen, nitrogen. You're made from the same thing. The earth, right, what you're made of, is also part of the cosmos, which is space, time, and universe. So you are also the universe. Literally. You're made from stardust as well. Matter of fact, Earth comes, if you believe in the evolution process, not Darwinism, but the evolution process. Stars built the Earth and other planetary galaxies. Before Earth came into existence, it was because a star bursted. And we're made from Earth. Let's put that into coalition now, into mind. So we're made from stardust and we're made from the same components of the earth. And these things are part of the universe. So you are the universe, in a sense. Matter of fact, you are the universe. You are a microscopic version of the universe. That's why I tell people we have to learn how to get out of our mind and learn how to have a cosmic perspective. You need to develop a cosmic perspective, meaning that you need to, in order to solve problems in your life, you have to take yourself out of the current situation that you're in and look at it from a distance. For example, let's say I'm on the first floor of my job, right? But the thing is, I'm in it. I'm not really going to see what's the countering thing, what's the real cause behind it. In order to see the real cause of what's going on in my job, I need to go to the 5th floor. When I start to be on the 5th floor and elevate to the 5th floor, I start to see all the outside factors. Now, I then am able to produce the best approach to solve the problems that's going on the first floor. So I go back to the first floor and solve the problems because I've been on the 5th floor, I've been on the 7th floor. This is what we call in Islam traveling up the heavens. When you travel up the heavens, you go up to get spiritual knowledge, but you don't just stay up. You don't want to be a monk where you just stay up. You want to be able to go up, reach the heavens in a sense, and come back down to earth because you're earth. Don't forget your earthly. You have to feed it what's good, though. You don't overly feed it, but you have to feed it what's good. You have to nourish it. Soil needs to be nourished. It needs sunlight. That's our spiritual sense. Right? Forgot where I was going with this one. I'm so deep in the flow, I'm so deep in the flow. Y'all need to learn how to get into flow too. But I ain't gonna get that deep. You gotta go up to the heavens, come back down to earth, provide for yourself and provide for everybody around you. See, this is a cosmic perspective. Right? That's human. That's humus. Right? That's a deep breakdown of humus. Man, though, human, see, everybody is a man, even females. She's just a man with a womb. She has an extra component. She's able to multiply. So if you give a woman one seed, she produces multiple seeds after that. This is important. We need to understand a woman on that level. The woman, like if you have a woman and you're with a woman, listen, males, you need to learn how to speak to her. You need to learn how to teach her who she is. You just give her one sperm, she produces a family. She produces life, yo. You give her $1, she gonna learn how to flip it to 50 to 100. You give her love, I'm telling you, that love is gonna exude in the house. This knowledge is important. This knowledge has been left off. Because we're so busy dividing each other. They say man don't need woman or woman don't need man. That's a trick question. We need each other. Without my sperm, without your womb, we don't produce no society. From my mother and father, I wouldn't be alive. But people are not even having the ability to think about these concepts. The devil's throwing them out there. And these be trick questions just to pull you on one side and to the other. You got to learn how to take the straight path. Take the straight path. And you better have it on your card. So man is mind. And so man, that's where I was at. The woman is a man with a womb. Womb man. Man is mind, and your mind is your intellect, and your intellect is responsible for progressing society. I already spoke about that, if you was here earlier. Your mind is responsible for progressing society. So the ideas that you produce that come within you have to be a benefit to the society. That is your God-given purpose. Protect the intellect, man. We have to make intelligence cool again. It's already cool. So if you're not on this wave, it's a good wave to be on. Because this is the wave that allows humans to express themselves in a healthy way. I'm in this group chat right now, man. I'm telling you, it makes me appreciate humanity even deeper. I already appreciate humans, but in this group chat makes me appreciate humanity even deeper. Shout out to Street Economics and Play to Flourish. Because what they have done is built a community of people who are resourceful. Right? Everybody needs to come with the mindset of being able to provide. Being able to have some value. We lost our sense of value, what it means to be valuable. Let's hit on that. Because we need to learn how to create narratives in our mind so that we can produce a society or produce a certain person that we are. So right now, a lot of people, again, protecting the intellect, part of protecting your intellect is protecting your mind from stress. We're in a highly stressed environment. And we are not practicing things that slow our mind down. You have to protect yourself from that. You got to start getting into meditation. You got to start stretching. You got to start reading. All of that slows your mind down. It does. Practice it. Walk outside, especially in the cold. What it does, when you reduce your stress, you also have the greater ability to make better decisions. The reason a lot of your decisions are poor at the moment because you don't give yourself the ability. You think that you're a computer, that you can make all these decisions. You're not a computer. Respect your mind. Your mind only operates from an 8 to 12 bandwidth. Your conscious mind. Your subconscious is way faster than that. I think it goes into trillions. But that's your subconscious because it has to pick up all the sensories around you. Your conscious mind, though, you got to slow it down. When you start to do that, what you start to do is you start to activate the understanding of abundance. Because if you keep operating off stress, you're operating off lack. So like this is new mental health crisis for males, and I don't like how it's being presented per se. And it's like we're told as men, therapy is to come with your problems. This goes against the male psyche. The male does not express the same way a female would express. The male needs to come in with the idea that he's here to be resourceful to his community. And when he starts to do that, he starts to operate on purpose, then operating on abundance, which is the same thing. And we have to be taught again what it means to be purposeful, or what resources are. Resources can be, value can be intrinsic. If you learn how to teach truth, if you learn how to teach patience, if you learn how to teach skills, financial skills, right? We need that. Mental skills, trade skills. These are things of value that a group needs. Not this therapeutic cry on my shoulder shit. No, fuck that. I'm not crying on nobody's fucking shoulder. Unless you're my best friend or something, and it's something that I really went through. That's about it. There's conditions to that. But we're not just going to do it because somebody tells us to do that. No. And when we start to come in with this mindset, we start to operate on abundance. We don't think about the things that we don't have. We start to think about the things we do have, and we start to find ways to implement the things we do have into the society so the society can benefit from it. Right? That's why knowing yourself is important. Knowing your strengths allow you to operate in abundance. So you can use AI, right? This is a gem. You can use AI to type in your strengths. What are 10 strengths that you have? Whatever those 10 strengths is, put that into AI and ask AI, why are these strengths important? Then it tells you, well, I'm gonna say I'm a thought leader. Why is that strength important? Well, being a thought leader allows me to produce ideas to give to people so they can rethink their life, therefore changing the trajectory of their life. Now, if I can change the trajectory of your life, one person's life, I can change the trajectory of the whole society. This is a benefit. So now I start to create a narrative behind that strength. Create narratives behind your strength. When you start to do that, other doors start to open up to you. Create a narrative behind your strength, and other doors will start to open up to you. A lot of us in this society try to operate our life off our weaknesses. See rappers becoming rappers, people becoming rappers, and not even good at rapping. Like, come on. Respect yourself. All right? So having knowledge of yourself is important. Knowing who you are is important. Knowing your strength and leveraging those strengths. Don't just know yourself just to know yourself. That's useless as fuck. Information is supposed to be leveraged. That's the whole point of it. So you can make better decisions. Literally. Literally. Information is used so you can leverage it and make better decisions. If you're not making better decisions, you're not using information the way it's intended to do. It's supposed to be useful, not useless. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I just yapped today, but I like the yap. This was a healthy, productive yap. Right? You need to buy the book. Protect the Intellect Society. Peace out, y'all. Hold on. Ooh. I think I got one more message. For the people. What is it? What is it that I gotta say to the people? Righteousness is the new currency. Righteousness is the new dollar or the new currency. AI, learn how to use AI. Build upon AI. We cannot keep creating these fear narratives of AI. Stop doing that. All this believing in God, but fear AI. Come on, bro. This shit don't make sense. Protect the Intellect Society, man. Peace out, y'all.